So as Brian said, God has blessed us abundantly, and He's used you to do some of that. And what that means is He's got work for us to do. And so what you're going to hear us talk about increasingly in the next few months and few years is how God is going to do immeasurably more through us, in particular in three areas. Making disciples. We started out this year with a series focused on joining Jesus, Show Me How, and how we make disciples as we're joining Him on His mission. We want to do more work in that area of coaching and developing and training men and women, young and old alike, to be on mission and to show others how to do the same. Strong home base, that's in the area of facilities, finance, staffing, programs here. We want to make sure they're clicking and humming, and there's great things happening, but there's more that we want to see get done as well, and so we're going to focus on that. You'll hear more about that in one of these other videos. And reaching new people. God calls us not to just do things in life for ourselves, but for the sake of others who are close to us but far from Him. And so we're constantly going to be on the lookout for people near and far and how we can reach them. And one of the ways we do that is through our 10 and 10 dream. And we've been talking about this now for over a year, how God has it placed on our hearts to start 10 new things across the Chicago region to reach new people with the gospel. And as part of that, we've been looking for friends, partners that we can join up with, link arms with, so that we're not trying to do this alone. And one of those new emerging partners, it looks like it's going to be this organization called Link. And forming a Link affiliate here in Chicago will allow us to pull from their resources, knowledge, and training to help raise up and release new leaders in the city of Chicago to start new ministries, which perfectly aligns with our 10 and 10 dream. One of the places we already have in mind is this location in the west side of Chicago. Trinity Mead is what we sometimes call it. It's on the corner of Mead and Wrightwood, right across from Reese Park. And we're prayerfully considering taking possession of that campus so that we can start a new program to serve the community. And this is a picture of the sanctuary there, which for years has been home to just a handful of people, down to just 4 ladies now who worship there regularly. But we know through our partnership with Link already that they have a network of Amharic African immigrants who are desperate to start a church. They just need a place. And so one of the things we're prayerfully considering is whether this beautiful Lutheran church would become the home base for this Lutheran African immigrant congregation. That's just a glimpse of what might be coming through this partnership. We're really excited about several other congregations, 12 or more getting involved in this. And we're excited to see how God will move through this 10 and 10 dream in our district, in the Chicago region, and beyond.
So as great as this season of blessing has been from God, there's a reality that we need to deal with and why we can't stay here, meaning why we can't just continue with our building as it is, with some of our ministry as it is. And so there's a few things that we need to address moving forward. One of those realities is there's some major repairs needed around our campus, these being the main ones. So our parking lot on the west side needs to be addressed. We've gotten some quotes back in 2012 on that, and we feel like that'll cost about $400,000 to $500,000, maybe more. Our sanctuary beams are rotting on the outside, and those need to be addressed. We have solutions lined up and in place, and now we just need to move ahead with one of them. And then our organ is past its lifetime to get fully kind of revitalized, get the leather all redone. And then safety and security, specifically in our sanctuary, is an issue, just as far as mobility and movement and the ability to exit the room in an emergency situation. So looking at our west parking lot, it's not the prettiest space, and we know that it needs to be dealt with. There's also kind of the long, slow walk up the ramp there getting into church, and we'd love to deal with both of those issues. Our sanctuary beams, that shows you a little bit of the reality that we're dealing with those rotting on the outside. You'll hear more about an option for taking care of that in a minute. And then our organ is a beautiful instrument. We want to revitalize it, preserve it for the future, and that's going to be a significant cost. And then safety and security. When you look at the layout of our sanctuary space, we'd love to address the need for more exits, for more mobility, and just safety overall in that space. Beyond even the major repairs, though, there's some really exciting improvements that we feel like we could make as we talk about making disciples, creating a strong home base, reaching new people. We feel like if we could accomplish some of these things, it would really move us forward with our mission and our vision in those areas. So those being entrances in our community space, we'd love to expand that, create a really welcoming, inviting space for new people. and fellowship for our people. Our sanctuary is a space that is beautiful, but could use to be revitalized and preserved for the next season of ministry. We have some infrastructure needs, just IT, HVAC around the building that could be addressed. We'd love to create more offices and meeting space for our staff and for the community to use as a whole. And then our courtyard space is an area that is within our footprint, and it could add square footage. So we're looking at potential scenarios of making that more usable, as you'll hear in a minute. And then childcare, as I mentioned, our early childhood program is thriving and growing, and we know that's a reality of our ministry moving forward, that we need to go younger and reach more families starting at 6 weeks old and up. This gives us an opportunity to build relationships with families and to minister to them during their time here. So we'd love to build some new space that was dedicated to childcare in our early childhood department.